There will be many stories that contain unhold, plenty reminders unfinished, unable to be accomplished. The victim behind these either death in misery or perish in struggle. Fond memories aren't meant to be cherished, right? Something to be saved for a long sight of time. But what about those bitter recollections? One you might endure, concernedly for a lifetime. If there's anything you had learned during your extended time with your tormentor, it's that whenever you let an unfiltered word slip, they more or less end up in woe. A careful scrap as a trophy of remembrance, dark enough to vacate a mark. Your eyes were withered within many unfortunate ends, gone by tears and a vengeful glare. Stubborn as they might be, those same eyes that stared at you in desperation never seemed to leave your mind. Just despite all too ability, not upon realizing what had occurred right before your nose, your mind suddenly goes blank, left to see yourself dragged away but with sheer ease, with a controlled sense of validity, gawking into space has hardly ever given you peace after seeing such gruesome sights. There are just empty thoughts with no real meaning. You'd like to think that, if you were still sane, regardless enough to make your own decision, even if it flawed, even if wrong, but at least these mentions do not conceal in someone's death, unlike Shigaraki. Those mindsets isn't exactly conventional. Escaping him wasn't by all means simple. You admitted you almost felt sympathy hearing his cries, if not his cruel declaration that if he found you, it'd be the end. And you are glad you are not around him anymore to know what he meant. If that was the case, perhaps you would never be writing this, telling everyone your tale, under the disguise of a fake name, even if he saw it, digging it out over hundreds of fan fiction. You doubt that he would know it was you. Humming a chapter of your life and putting it into words certainly looked a way more patient at ease. You won't lie and say that you are not fearful of being found out, which leads you to your current statement, locked up in a room with the quiet taps of your keyboard, writing away your life with unease. Fight was driven you to a handful, keeping your windows shut at all times and sending yourself a privacy apartment with plenty of people around, reimbumbable security, and a puppy you had gotten from an unwilling owner. The experience you had gained from your long imprisonment had granted you quite the hard time coping up with stress, and the tiniest sounds you could hear, whether he in the middle of the night or day, with your guards up most of the time, you hardly relaxed willingly. There's always that quiet voice in your head that fuels your anxiety to the maximum. You want to loosen up. You want to be at ease, not to be in fight and flight mode. Throughout the entirety of your life, dreading every single step that you take of fear. Is anyone home? Hello? You nearly jumped out of your skin when the promote interaction grabs your attention. Instantly turning around to survey it, watching the door reminds you of desperation as it has been a struggle since the time you were locked up in a dingy dingy room, lacking much sunlight, even if it is not the same one that contained you bounded for more than a month. However, it just stirs up unpleasant feelings inside your chest. It causes you to zoom out of reality, 'cause you remember everything you shouldn't. It's your delivery, miss. This also reminds you of a forgotten incident. You raised from your seat, timidly making your way towards the entrance, hesitantly letting yourself voice your answer. Could you please leave it by the door? You steadied yourself for a response, not ready to take a peek. Oh, okay, sure, ma'am. With that, you hear footsteps walk away from your home, somewhat delaying to see if a man had departed. Come on, I can't wait all day long to take a single partial. Scooping up the course, and merely looking at the door, cringe look when a cold breeze passes her by. Looking down at her package, she swiftly gathers it up and locks the door behind her. A click soon heard. Suddenly, it draws a faint sense of security, despite knowing our kidnapper might not even need to break in. She is so tense every day, even sitting idly raised up a lot of concerns, even for her, to be unable to handle it. She avoids thinking to a certain extent because she is so bothered, her mind simply will go back to the place that ruined it. You recall someone telling that. Unfortunately, you couldn't retain their name, only their face. Shut up, stupid brain. Why won't you let me forget all of it? Sitting down by her laptop, she swiftly stared at the wall, where they were always so dull. When she managed to get rid of the blood stains on it. Is it blood? Her blood? Red things have somehow retrained the memory of when she tried to flee for the first time. She could receive it, her bare feet touching the mushy ground, the smell of soaked mud, and her soggy clothes. Her freedom didn't last long enough. Blue flames eventually slowed her down, chewed up by his rags. Oh, rage. Rage soon after. Tomer managed not to only hurt her, but cut her as a warning. She could not fathom the things this man must have gone through to be so mentally scarred. She didn't bother asking because she didn't think he would tell her until he did during the last final days of her captivity. That's how it's spelled, so I'm going to say it like that. I know how. He said something of killing his own family, though he never had in detail. She did not wish to know further. That alone told her enough. She was glad she escaped. Otherwise, if she hasn't, her demise might have never neared. If I'm correct, this is the first Shigaraki one I've done. I know he wasn't mainly in this because I don't know actually. The writer I guess he didn't, or they didn't want to put him in there. But next will be a kind of a mystery character. Actually, never mind. It's way too short. It would be like a 3-minute video, so never mind. But still technically mystery because it's Izuku Midoriya plus question mark. Anyways, I am so, God, I'm so stupid. Okay, whoa. Okay, never mind. I skimmed through it, and I think you guys are going to like it, hopefully. But I hope you guys enjoyed. So we're finally getting close to being done with this yandere book. And next book will hopefully be not mainly yanderes. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Bye, lovelies.